And then we have some physical improvisers who are not going to be using any words. They're just going to be using their bodies and their actions to tell stories based on your suggestions. Does that sound fun?
Yeah.
Great. All right, so from a hand, may I please get, oh, there you are. What a good looking crowd. Hello. Give yourselves a hand. So, from a hand, can I get a suggestion of an object?
Applesauce.
From a hand,
A moose.
a moose.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take moose and we'll try to figure out how to do applesauce. And may I present Jay and Dom, our mimes.
All right.
Your suggestions are moose and applesauce. to you wonderful nieces. As I was watching that, I was inspired, and the first time I ever saw a moose was in Yellowstone, Wyoming. And it was on a trip with my dad. My dad used to, he provided all the Kodak film, remember film? To the national parks west of the Mississippi. And as a kid, I got to travel with him and go to all these. And they'd be like, oh, the Grand Canyon again. And my dad was a big guy. Former Marine, was a photographer for the National Geographic at one time. I know. He's pretty cool. And was a huge force in my life. And he passed away when I was 21 years old. And I was left as the executor of the estate at 21. Estate. We were poor white trash, so I don't know what I'm saying in estate. But I remember when he died, I had his wallet. And his wallet was like brown and that thick. And had countless things in it. And on that same trip to Wyoming, I tried to look at his wallet, and he almost beat the shit out of me. You never look at a man's wallet! And when he said it, it scared the hell out of me because he's so big. And so I never looked in his wallet. And it was the realization that I knew he was dead because I had to look in the wallet. And I was sitting there kind of having almost an old Western standoff with the wallet. And he'd look at it, and he'd look at me, and I'd look at it, and I knew I was going to have to go through it and find it. I started going through it because I had to cancel all the credit cards, you know, and look and see if there was anything important in there. And as I'm going through it, it's killing me. I'm pulling one credit card, and I'm starting to cry because that's when I knew he was dead. And pulling out different credit cards, and as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I gotta call his boss, and gotta call his best friend, who was kind of like an uncle to me growing up. And more, it just hit me. And the emotions came up. And I remember, he died in February, it was the end of February. And I remember it being cold in his place, and it wasn't my house, it was Dad's house, and I was back in it, and the tears started coming down, and they were so hot on my cold skin. And I find this picture, folded in half. And it's a black and white picture of a baby. And it's a little curious, because I'm like, why would Dad have this baby picture? It wasn't any of us. So then I look at the writing on it, and it said, my baby picture. Now, Dad spent a lot of time in bars when he was traveling, and he went to I can imagine him showing this picture in a lot of different bars, because superimposed on this baby's picture was a 9-inch penis. And I can see my dad in a bar. Want to see my baby picture? I'm showing him that pic. And it was such a relief to me, because it was almost like Dad coming back saying, lighten the fuck up, I'm dead. And you're gonna be fine, you're gonna survive. And so sometime let me know if you want to see my baby picture. So, by hand, may I please get a place you'd go on a date?
Olive Garden.
The Olive Garden. All right. Olive Garden.
go.
Well, you're a pro. All right. So may I please get another place you'd have a date?
Bowling alley.
Whoa.
Bowling alley, okay. Well, by a hand, but we're working on it. But I love you, and you all are beautiful. You had a hand up back there.
Alakai Beach, like sitting on the sand with ice cream.
Okay.
From Venice.
Aww. You know what? I'm going to go with bowling alley. Only because it inspired a story to me when I was a child. It was really odd. We grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Woo!
Let's hear it for Utah.
Yeah!
My mother was Methodist and converted to Judaism.
Okay.
When I was around 7, she started. And I tell you what, the Jews don't make it easy to convert. They actually don't want you. But she was successful and was named, had the Hebrew name of Rachel or Rachel. And my dad was raised Roman Catholic, but was a Mason and kind of followed Masonic traditions. So we were like the UN of religion. And we were the first non-Mormon family to live on our block in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so we were kind of like the Addams family. But I remember my mom wanted me to go to Hebrew school, which is a real good thing to have a kid who has had no religion go to Hebrew school with all of these other kids. And then we'd go to a bowling alley afterwards. And it was always really fun. And there was this girl named Tova Edelman who I had a little crush on. Bright red hair. Well, one day, we're walking from the temple to the bowling alley, which is a couple of blocks away. And there was a Winchell's Donuts. And let's hear it for Winchell's Donuts. So I ran in and got a donut and started eating it. And all the other kids were just looking at me aghast. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I know it's glazed, but..." They're like, "It's Passover!" During Passover, Jews do not eat leavened bread, like donuts. So here I am, already feeling like kind of a weirdo, because I'm not really Jewish, and I'm Jewish light. And I broke a rule that I didn't even know was a rule. And I remember just sitting there, and we went to the bowling alley, and it like spread like fire. You had a donut. You had a donut. He did what? You had a donut. I'm like, and I felt so bad, and I started crying. And they're like, "Oh, it's okay, it's not that big of a rule." Then I'm like, "Well, what the fuck was all that about?" Which has now still scarred me and left me very non-religious. But I love religious people. So that's my bowling alley story. Now, can I get a place where you would go on vacation?
Montana.
By a hand. Meg, yes.
A ski resort.
A ski resort. All right, we got ski resort. That's the extent of my skiing abilities. I think we're going to try to do one more story and one more group for the mimes before we end. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. So, I've done dates, I've done restaurants. By a hand, Logan.
Sorry.
It's okay, I still love you.
Bad influence.
I'm watching both. All right. Can I get a subject in school? Yes, Logan.
Language arts.
Language arts. Okay.
Ooh.
I'm going to also go with English.
Sure.
So when I was in 8th grade, I was still in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I had an English teacher who was this good-looking Mormon dude, and very tall, very formal, and like still dressed like he was on his mission. And one day he's going around asking everyone what they want to be when they get older. And you know, there was a basketball player, there was some guy wanted to be a radio executive in 8th grade. I remember a radio executive. And he looked at me and he said, well, Mr. Whipple, what would you like to be when you get older? Well, I wanted to be an actor. So I said, well, I want to be an actor. And he goes, oh, a thespian. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew lesbian. So I thought it was a male version of a lesbian. And I started sweating. And I was like, how does he know? I was outed by my Mormon 8th grade teacher for being a thespian. Yeah, and yeah, that didn't end up well, because here I am, and here we are on a beautiful night. All right, for our mimes, may I please get a situation? A situation. Yes.
Failing a test.
Failing a test. We've got failing a test for Dom and Jay. For our last scene.